Gang, hey man, this video, I packed it with a ton of gold nuggets. So if you have the time, make sure that you watch this or listen to this video to the very end so that you can soak up all of this game. Also hit the like button, also subscribe to the channel. And if you have not done so already, jump into the CLG community. I'm actually going to be dropping the live event sooner rather than later. But in order to get the cheapest ticket, you're going to have to jump in before, you're going to have to buy the tickets before the 15th. But if you try to jump into the CLG community now, you won't even have access to the tickets for 8 days of membership. So you might want to jump into the CLG community right now so that you can get the cheap tickets so you can meet me in Miami. You get what I'm trying to say? And we can really, you know what I mean, work on and fine tune your game in real time with real women so that you can take it back to whatever city that you live and you can start implementing that right away so that you can become elite sooner rather than later. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into this video.
All right, man, I'm going to go. I'll be too late.
All right. Damn, you ain't gonna tell it. Damn, you ain't gonna tell me about nothing?
Oh,
Damn. These girls ain't that damn important.
come on, I'm already late. Come on, man.
Kiss me.
Huh?
Man, give me a kiss.
All right.
Have fun.
All right, don't let them stay up too late, okay?
All right, girl. Damn. Get out of here.
Boy, what you trying to get into?
Man, go ahead. Have fun. You look good. I just had to get you on camera.
I won't be late. Don't let the girls stay up
Get
too
you on
late.
camera. Let me see.
Huh?
Bounce it for me one time. Get it up.
Stop playing.
Girl, yeah, good deal.
All right, I'll be back. I won't be too late.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too. She thinks she finna be out. Her ass got another thing coming. White chocolate all over her ass. Got me fucked up. Ain't finna be no girls' night.
A few moments later.
Now, why the fuck would you do that?
What?
Why the fuck would you do that?
What the fuck?
Now I'm be fucking late. Why the fuck would you do that, Marquise? Stupid motherfucker. Shit.
You ain't going there. Ain't no motherfucking girls' night.
Boy, fuck you.
So I wanted to show you guys that skit, you know what I mean? Because I really wanted to break down the importance of making sure if you're gonna, you know, go that route with a chick, right? Sound like he had some kids in the background. Look like he done moved the girl in, whatever, right? And look like she having a girls' night. You know what I mean? But instead of, you know, him laying down the law and expressing, you know, what it is, you get what I'm trying to say? And if she's not willing to abide by what it is, the most masculine thing that you can do is remove your presence. But instead, you know, he want to pull out the camera phone. He want to put chocolate on his hand. He want to rub chocolate all over her pants. He want to do, you know what I mean, you know, shame her or whatever the case is in hopes that's going to stop her from having a girls' night. But if you watch the end of that video, all she did was come back in and change her clothes. She might have been a little bit more late to go to girls' night, but she just came in, changed her clothes, and went back out. You get what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, a woman's strategy does not change just because she has a man. So if she was like that when you met her, you know what I mean, it's your job as the man to properly vet her in order to put her into the right category. Rotation chicks, they just not built for relationships. They just aren't. You know what I mean? If you know she get around and she get off like that, and that's what she's on, then one of the things that you got to understand as a man is you got to realize, okay, I have fun with this chick. She a good time. She's solid. Whatever the case is, she reliable. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, making that next step of her moving in, having kids, doing stuff like that, I'm going to have to decline. You feel me? Because it's a rare type of chick that you can do that with. You know what I mean? And, you know, I had a situation a little while ago where my girl or my main was like, you know, your problem is you want a good girl to stay at home, and then, you know, you want to, you know, have your cake and eat it too in so many ways. And I simply said, what's wrong with that? As a guy, you know, I work hard, you know, I put in the work, I work on myself, whatever the case is. I understand, in my opinion, you know what I mean? I understand how the world works, right? This is the thing. I said, you got to understand when you jump into a guy's psyche, you know what I mean? A guy who is masculine, understands himself, understands how he wants to live in this world to the day he dies, because we're all going to die, right? It's all going to end for us eventually, right? I haven't met a person that lived forever. So you got to understand when a guy is truly in his masculine and a guy is truly, you know, understanding, how the world works. A guy's best strategy in today's modern day world, right? Because you know what they say, if you don't adapt, you die, right? It's not the biggest who survives. It's not the fastest who survives. It's the one who's most willing to adapt. That's the person who survives, right? So in today's modern day world, the way the modern day world works is the best strategy is, okay, you have these girls that probably excite you more. Let's be honest as guys. Hoes are very exciting. You know what I mean? They know how to do things. They know how to do things with their tongue that you've never felt before. They know how to do things, and they know how to act for short periods of time. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, if you got a solid hoe in your corner, she knows how to act. She knows how to wake you up to head. She knows how to do nasty stuff. She knows how to goggle it in front of you. She has periods of time where she seems like she is the most submissive girl on the planet. I mean, the girl knows how to really tap into a guy's psyche and really, really, really make this guy feel like a king. But you knowing who she is in her true nature, you have to pick up on those red flags and understand that this is just temporary till she gets what she wants, which she just wants a sucker to commit to her long term, while she still keeps her same dating strategy, which is go outside and keep getting hit on until she feels like she finds somebody of better value than you. Her dating strategy will never change. You get what I'm trying to say? Until she hits an age where she's no longer getting attention when she goes out. You get what I'm trying to say? And with the girls, as they age, the attention dwindles. It keeps dwindling down until they just no longer get any. And they just keep seeing the young, hot girls get hit on all the time. And it's very hard for them because they're not going to change their strategy, right? They're not going to start hitting on guys. Some of them might, but for the most part, they're not going to change their strategy. You get what I'm trying to say? They're going to sit back, they're going to look cute, and they're going to sit around and look at the younger girls continue to get hit on while their options tend to dwindle. You get what I'm trying to say? So they want to keep striking while the iron is hot, while they're still young, while they're still hot, while they're still attractive, and they're doing it on your time. As a man, I don't know this guy's situation. I don't know if he pays the full mortgage. I don't know what's going on with his situation. Looked like they had a decent car out in the driveway. They had a house. They had all this type of stuff. And she wants to go out to the girls' night. But in my opinion, the way he handled it, I know it was a prank or maybe a joke or whatever, skit, whatever you want to call it. In my opinion, the way he handled it was not the ultimate way to handle it. Because the best way to handle the situation is, if you're not feeling what she putting down, the best way to handle that situation is to remove your presence as a man. There is no other way. The only way you would do something crazy or off the hinge is if it's a prank, if you're just trying to post it on the internet and you're just trying to do it as a prank, which that might have been his mindset. Or if he just doesn't have the balls to leave her, so he just does these little side quests or whatever the case is, to try to hinder her, but it's not going to stop her. You see, she came back, she finna change her clothes, and she probably going to change into probably something more skanky than that, because, I mean, her booty cheeks was hanging out of them goddamn shorts. She probably going to change into something even more skanky, and because he did that, now she really, I mean, she was already probably looking for his replacement already when she was going out. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing, even if she don't get cracked that night, it ain't nothing to exchange a number with somebody and meet up with them later. You feel me? Girls make it easy for the guys that they like. A lot of guys don't understand that. Girls make it easy for the guys that they like. And a lot of guys do not understand that. And speaking of that, I mean, I remember somebody was telling me in my comments, and they say, man, CJ, you giving too much game. You giving way too much game. You know what I mean? Like slow down giving this game, because, we don't want the suckers to find this information and figure it out. We don't want that. You get what I'm trying to say? And here's the thing. Here's what I would tell you, especially with me running the group and things like that. The suckers will always exist to the end of time, right? Nothing is going to change the simps, the suckers, whatever the case is. Their ideologies are so strong in their head that there is nothing that I can tell them to change them. I've had guys in the group, I kid you not, You feel me? Like, almost is delusional, or if not more delusional than women. I've had guys in the group. They will break down a situation. I will tell them how to handle that situation in the most masculine way possible, how to turn down their care, how to do all of this stuff. They will proceed not to listen to me. They will completely text everything against everything that I said, how to text. Their care will be extremely high. Like, extremely high. And here's the thing. They will continue to get played by women. And then they will get no results because they're not listening at all. Like they're not listening. They're not, because they can't stick with it. Like, they can't stick with their guns. Like, they can't stick with it. So they won't listen to you. They'll continue to make mistake after mistake after mistake. You try to help them fix the mistake. They continue to make mistake. Then they get one-itis. Then they fall in love with a chick that does not like them. And then when they can't get the chick, they will blame me for it, even though they never listened to me from the jump. And they'll be like, hey man, you know me, like, I don't think this is working for me, and da-da-da. And at that point, you will go back and forth with this guy. You be like, bro, with this situation, you made this mistake, this mistake, this mistake, this mistake. And they'll sit back and be like, nah, well, the reason I did that was because of this. And the reason I did that because of this. And the reason I did that because of this. And I really think she liked me. So, you know, I feel like I need to do more of this with her. And I got to do this with her. And I got to do this with her. And I'm like, yes, all of that you're doing for her or with her or whatever the case is, all it's doing is forcing her respect for you to lower, 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 lower. I'm telling you, if you go that route, this is what's going to happen. She's never going to have high enough respect for you to meet with you, to give you any ass, to do anything with you. She just won't it just won't happen. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? But they'll proceed to go about it, doing it their way. They will proceed to ignore everything that I said, do it their way. And I will sit around and watch them implode. And then they'll blame it on me. And they'll be like, man, this ain't working for me. I'd be like, you never gave it a try. You never gave it a chance. You really didn't. I mean, you had one-itis with a chick that I told you, if you play it that way, you're gonna burn that bridge. Nah, man, I know what to do, man. I know how to handle it, man. I know how to. I had a guy, man, in the group. This dude was in love with a girl so hard that he made every mistake possible. He came to me. We did a one-on-one. I helped him to fix. I'm like, hey, man, you might have already messed it up, but the only way to recover from it is to do this, right? You might, like, from what you're telling me, you might have already, like, just destroyed the bridge with this girl, because everything that you're doing is lowering your value in her eyes, which means it's lowering her respect for you, because the way that you're acting, right? You're acting like a guy who hasn't been there before. You're acting like a guy that's not used to female attention. You're acting like a guy that doesn't know how to handle female attention well. You get what I'm trying to say? And all of that is portraying in your text messages, the way that you're reaching out to her, the way that you're calling her, all types of stuff. All of this is portraying. So you might have already messed it up. Here's the best advice. Won't take my advice, do his own thing, and then get mad when the girl no longer messing with him. Hey, man, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Simply put, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, it's cool moving to the beat of your own drum, but at the end of the day, when you come to somebody for advice who can really help you, like actually help you get the most out of the chick, you know what I mean? Assuming that her minimum attraction threshold is there for you, and I'm really trying to help you get the most out of a chick. Trust me. I've walked guys step by step through so many text messages, through so many breakdowns, through so many, you know what I mean, setting things up. I've walked them through step by step how to get a girl from A to B. You know what I mean? If you go back in the CLG community, you go to some of the posts in the CLG community. There's a lot of posts now, so you got to go back some pages. I've even told guys exactly what to text next. Hey, text this next. Hey, text this next. Hey, text this line next. Hey, text this line next. And they be like, bro, she came through, gave me head, bro. Yeah, bro. I literally, and then they'll be screenshotting the text as I'm telling them, hey, text this line next. Text this line next. Text this line next. Bro, she came through, gave me head. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm not new to this, dog. I'm true to this. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I wouldn't have came to the internet if I didn't know how to get a girl from point A to point B. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if the girl just gave you a number out of pity, or the initial interaction wasn't CLG, or, you know what I mean, the way you even got the number wasn't CLG, there is no amount of text that's going to get her to the goddamn date. Or if she just gave you the number just to waste your time, or just to play games, whatever the case is, there's no amount of text that you're going to do to get this girl from point A to point B. But the CLG method is going to at least force her to show her hand. Force her to show her hand sooner rather than later, because when she shows her hand, what that can do for you is it can actually free up your time, which is actually more valuable than even, you know, cracking a chick. Because at the end of the day, if you got one chick playing games, right, and then you got another chick that's down the ride, you know what I mean? And a lot of the times, this is the crazy part, the one that's playing games isn't even as attractive as the one that's down the ride. This is what happens to me a lot, you know what I mean? You got one chick playing games, whatever the case is, do her own thing, whatever, you know what I mean? But you got one chick that's down the ride. The one that's down the ride is actually even more attractive than the one that's playing games. At the end of the day, I'm taking the one that's down the ride 10 times out of 10. That's going to be the better all-around experience. You get what I'm trying to say? And she's down the ride because she naturally has more respect for me because I met her minimum attraction threshold. Obviously, I know if I meet a girl's minimum attraction threshold, I know for the most part, every now and again, I'll step outside of CLG and make mistakes. And then as soon as I make the mistakes, I'll lose the girl. So I know for a fact the CLG way works, because even during the hard 30, when I stepped outside of the CLG and I decided to do something different, I would make the mistake, and then as soon as I make the mistake, the girl's gone. That's how finicky these modern day women are. That is how finicky these modern day women are. You get what I'm trying to say? But what a lot of guys do is they never had the initial attraction from the girl to begin with. They never had the initial respect. She might have texted back once or twice or whatever the case is, but then when it came down to you putting her feet to the fire and really using the process on her, she'll go ghost. Well, she went ghost because she's full of it. You get what I'm trying to say? But here's the thing. If you follow the CLG process and you stuck to your guns, right? If you follow the CLG process and you stuck to your guns, she knows what type of man you are. So when you do reach out in the future, she understands the protocol. She understands who you are, right? She puts you in a category of, okay, he's not one of those guys that I can just drain out of free attention. He's one of those guys that if I keep texting him back, we're going to actually have to link up. And then that's when his real skill kicks in, right? Because anybody can text a girl on the phone all day, you know what I mean, to make her feel good about herself, you know what I mean, boost her ego and her boost her confidence and give her little butterflies by just dripping on her every day. But it takes a certain type of guy who can actually take her from that phone, bring her into the real world, bring her into his reality, and give her an adventure that no other guy has ever given her, because it's unique to him. You get what I'm trying to say? Just like a fingerprint, we're all unique in our own ways. So if you can take a girl out of her world, bring her into your world, and give her an experience that you can give her that she has never felt outside of you, that girl will be hooked to you till pretty much the day she dies, even if she gets into a relationship with somebody else. So I'm giving you guys real game. And here's the thing. Me and my boy was talking about this last night. My boy was telling me, because we both have the same 6'3" homeboy, right? And this dude has no problem getting women, because women throw themselves at this guy, right? He lives life on easy mode for the most part, but he put in a lot of work. You know what I mean? He put in a lot of work in the gym. He put in a lot of work in looks maxing, but he went for more of the masculine route. Like he looks more masculine than most men. And the dude, and he happens to be 6'3", like, you know what I mean? So the dude has a lot of stuff working for him, right? So the dude will text my homeboy, who's about my height. He probably an inch taller than me. He'll text my homeboy, and he'll text the girl. And my homeboy be like, bro, the chick would be like a dime piece. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a chick that I would take on dates, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? And the 6'3" guy would be texting him and be like, bro, I'm so pissed, bro. Like, this girl wants me to take her on a date, bro. I'm not taking her on a date. Like, who does she think I am? So my homeboy was like, that's so crazy that, like, this dude doesn't even have to take girls on dates. You feel me? But what I'm trying to tell him, I'm like, yes. I said, but you also got to think about it. He put a lot of work into the gym. He put a lot of work into his masculine presence, his look. He put a lot of work into himself. So he put that work into himself. The initial attraction from the girl is already, and some of it is genetic, right? Some of it is genetic. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Some girls are born with big old fat asses. You know what I mean? Like, genetically, they ass just fat. You know, yeah, they go to the gym to keep it fat, but it's just they born with that big old fat ass. So some of it is genetics. The nigga 6'3". Like, you know what I mean? But what I'm trying to tell my homeboys, okay, yes, he does live life on easy mode. You feel me? Yes, the girls that he won't even take on a date and crack, you probably have to take, because he's like, man, I would have to take a girl like that on like 3 dates before I crack. You know what I mean? I say, yes, that's probably true. A girl that he doesn't even have to take on a date, you would probably have to take on 2 to 3 dates. That is possibly true, right? Now, here's what I told him. I said, but check this out. I'm shorter than you. I'm probably like an inch shorter than him, 2 inches maybe, because I'm 5'9". I said, but check this out. I'm shorter than you, right? And I don't get that initial high, you know, interest or whatever the case is. I don't get none of that. You get what I'm trying to say? But because I know the hand that I'm dealt, I know that I had to work on my skill even 2 to 3 times, because I know that I don't get that. You feel me? Like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know that I do not have that. So I'm smart enough to learn how to adapt based on what I have. Does that make sense? All right, for the guys that doesn't make sense to. For example, if you are a short basketball player and the league that you're playing in is, most of the guys you're playing against are 6'4" and above, and you're 5'9". Well, because you're shorter, you're going to have to adapt your game. You get what I'm trying to say? You're not going to be able to go into the paint with those trees. They're going to block your shot, especially if they have somewhat decent shot blocking ability. So maybe you go for the steals. Maybe you dive on the live balls. Maybe you make the great passes. Maybe you work on your long, deep three. You feel me? Hit open shots, this and this. You're going to have to adapt your strategy to play the hand that you're built to the best of your ability. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So what I was telling him is, like, because I don't have that initial attraction, I've had to work on the skill side of things. And this is how I know the skill side of things works, because when I do teach a guy, and I did this before when I was in the car business, it was a 6'2" guy who had, you know what I mean, he had girls naturally liking him, but he would fumble all the girls that liked him. So what I did was I taught him my process. And as soon as I taught this 6'2", he had like a light eyes, he was a mixed kid. As soon as I taught this kid how the process, he became better than me. Like overnight. Like, you know what I mean? Because now he has the attributes, the height, the this, and he has the skill. He has it all. You get what I'm trying to say? He has the attributes, he has the height, he has everything. But all he was missing was that process, text scripts, things like that. And he took off. You get what I'm trying to say? Because not only was he getting initial attraction, but he also knew how to use that initial attraction that he got from her and do something with it. But when you get that initial attraction and you start acting feminine and you start acting like this and it throws her off, because she's viewing you as this very attractive masculine man. And then when you start acting like you're not, she no longer is attracted to you, because the way you act is actually more important how you look to girls. The looks like get your foot in the door, but if the actions don't follow the looks, then she just like, oh my God. Like, she will give it to a less attractive guy. Maybe he's heavier, maybe he's shorter, whatever the case is. She will give the yams to him over you if you don't know what you're doing. So I always wanted to break that down for you, because it's like, I'm telling you, as an average guy, this stuff is working for me. So much to the point, went out last night. I think I probably talked to like 4 girls, right? First girl rejected me, and I'm gonna tell you how she rejected me and why she rejected me and why this is important. So I went over there, did the CLG process on her, and she was sweet, she was kind, she said no thank you, whatever the case is. She was waiting on her friend. So I started chopping her up, and then I said all right, well, you know what I mean, did the CLG process on her, and then she was just like, in her words, these are her words, she said no. And she said no to a question that I asked, and I said, why you saying no? And she was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got out of a situation. I said, what they got to do with me? You know what I mean? I said, I don't care that you just got out of that situation. You know what I mean? She's like, well, I'm not looking to date anybody. I said, I didn't say nothing about dating. She's like, see, but that makes it worse. I said, makes what worse? And she was just like, she's like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, she was like, you give off fuckboy vibes. That's what she told me. And I was just like, what do you mean by that? And then she was like, she's like, you just give off like fuckboy vibes. Like, you give off like the type of guy that like I'm gonna fall for, and then you're gonna hurt me, right? And then I was just like, damn, that's extreme. Like, you know what I mean? You judging a book by its cover. And I was like, how does a fuckboy look? And she looked at me. She's like, they look exactly like you. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, damn. So I was like, I would hate to see who your ex was. And she was a cute girl. She was feminine. She was sweet. She was all of this stuff, right? But we were still chopping it up. Then her homegirl came over, whatever the case is, and they end up, you know, going their separate ways, getting a drink. I end up watching the game. But at the end of the day, I really wanted to break that down. She didn't reject me for any lack of attraction. You feel me? Like, there was no lack of attraction on her part. You get what I'm trying to say? But she probably just got hurt. She probably just got a relationship. She probably is not trying to get attached, even if it's just sexual, whatever the case is. She has her own things going on in her life. This is why, even for the guys that take rejection too personally, I always tell them, and especially even in a group, I always tell them, go back to the foundation. Because the fact that you even take her rejection too personally goes to show that your foundation isn't complete, because you still care too much. You cannot be masculine as a man and have too much feelings and too much emotions invested into, especially to a girl that you don't even know. Like the guy that I was telling you earlier about in this video, he was in love, infatuated with a girl that he did not know. He didn't know the girl. She gave this guy she made her friend give the guy her number. And because he got her number and she gave it to him, he took that as a sign of, oh my God, this girl is in love with me. And he threw out all of the CLG stuff and became extreme lover boy. And he said the reason he became extreme lover boy because girls never, ever, ever hit on him. So the fact that this girl gave her number to him, it let down his guard, which I told him, I said, bro, don't let your guard down. Just because she gave you her number, still play it the same way. He's like, nah, I'm gonna play this one different because no girl has ever just gave me their number. I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna fall into this thing where you're gonna get to lovey-dovey, talking to her all the time, trying to call it blah, 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 all this stuff like this. And that's exactly what he did. He did exactly the opposite of CLG, and then he couldn't get her, and then he blamed me for it. Even though I told him from the jump not to do that. But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So for the guys that came at me and just like, CJ, be careful sharing this information. I'm like, bro, there are going to be so many guys, and I've seen this, like I've seen it in the field, that I try to help and they want help. They come to me for help. Like they'll see my results. Like bro, like even last night, like tonguing some chick down, like by the bar, you know what I mean? Right after she just said, she was just like, oh, I don't want to make out with you. My friends are watching. My friends are watching. She's like, I don't want to make out with you. My friends are watching. And I was like, they're not looking now. and like they was like had their backs turned, and she was like, okay, something. She's like, quick, man, she was tonguing me down for like 10 minutes. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. I can't believe I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is the way a guy's operating. Like, you feel me? And I'm not the tallest, and I'm not the best looking, and I'm not none of this, bro. Like, and that girl was a dime piece, bro. You know what I mean? Perfect teeth, white teeth, beautiful skin, petite, plump, juicy, fat ass, like dime piece. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like a gorgeous girl. We're not talking about booger whoops here. You get what I'm trying to say? And that just happened last night. You know what I mean? And the only reason we couldn't pull them because they was with their friends. They didn't pull. They didn't want to come with us that night. And then she told me, she's like, you better text me. You better text me. You better text me. Still haven't texted her yet. But she was like, she kept saying, you better text me. You have my number. You have my number. Because she had to go back with her friends. It was her girl's birthday. They didn't want to pull with us. Then, as soon as we left that, we had another set that we was finna pull. But that guy, my homeboy, his girl didn't want to pull. But the girl that I was talking to, she was down to pull. And then she was so down to pull that as soon as I left, she left me this long ass fucking text message. And that's, so the girl that and this all happened last night. So the girl that I just told you about that turned me down. The first girl, she said I give off fuckboy vibes. Every girl after that, one, I got their number. This was a dime piece, but there was no making out, no nothing like that. It was just it was like a somewhat medium short interaction. Was trying to pull her. She didn't want to leave her friends. She gave me a number. And so I got that girl's number. So I got 3 numbers. I only talked to 4 girls last night. And then one of them I made out with. The other one is trying to set something up. She sent me this long paragraph ass text. And then the other one, I just got her number. You know what I mean? We'll see how it plays out. So that's 3 out of 4. And this is a guy that I just follow CLG, bro. I don't do nothing crazy. I don't do nothing over the top. You know what I mean? We wanted to pull that night, but none of them bitches was pulling. You feel me? They all had to go back with their friends. And no, I gotta drop my friends off. No, I gotta do this, da, da, da. But guess what? There was no lack of trying. And the thing is, when you and your boy on the same page, and this is the thing, my boy is becoming more and more savage because he hang with me more. So when you and your boy on the same page, when there is a group that we can pull, we execute at a high level. You know what I mean? We execute at a high level. So what I really want to tell guys is really lock into the CLG thing. If you're going to jump in, it's a 7-day free trial. You have nothing to lose. But if you are going to jump in and you are going to give it a shot, really lock in. There's more than enough content. Keep learning, keep watching until it clicks for you. You feel me? Because once it clicks for you, it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be so easy when you give yourself the internal permission to be a man. It's going to feel like shooting fish in a barrel. It's going to feel like a cheat code. It really is. And this is the feeling that I want every man to feel. But at the end of the day, I know every man's not going to feel it because most men don't listen. You get what I'm trying to say? They'll come to you for advice. They'll ask for your advice. You tell them like, hey, bro, this is how I would text. And they will blatantly do the opposite. But this is why I tell you to stick with it. We've had guys in the community, you give them the advice, they blatantly do the opposite. But then over time, they start fine-tuning because they're in the field, right? So they start fine-tuning what you've been telling them, and they start becoming more and more and more, doing it the CLG way. And then as they start becoming more CLG, they start getting more out of women. They start getting women to do more stuff for them. And you can just watch their transformation over time. And matter of fact, I got a guy in mind that's like, he started off like really lover boy. He's still, and nothing wrong with a little bit of lover boy. Like, that's his personality, right? Don't change your personality. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, don't change who you are. You get what I'm trying to say? But there are going to be tweaks that are going to come along the line that is just going to make you the most masculine version of yourself. And we have this guy I've watched his transformation, and his graph is just fucking going in a fucking straight line upwards. Meaning that every single time he's just growing. Because you got to understand, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So every single time he is growing. He's not quitting. He's not throwing in the towel. He's not doing this. And the thing is, he's seeing himself grow, and he's understanding. He's understanding why I do what I do and how I text. And you get what I'm trying to say? He's understanding now how to get the most out of women, things like this. And his results are skyrocketing because of it. And he's just naturally a happier guy. And that's what it all comes down to. You can have all the money in the bank. You can have everything in the world. If you genuinely do not love yourself and love your life, it means nothing. I promise you. It means nothing. So I hope this video just really, got into you guys' heads. You don't have to play these silly games with these girls. You don't have to put, chocolate on their ass when they go out with their girls. You don't have to do this stuff to these women. You don't have to play these games with these women. You have to get in the field, understand women, understand how to categorize women. At least that's what I do, right? Obviously, at the end of the day, you're going to move to the beat of your own drum. I get it. You get what I'm trying to say? That's masculine in and of itself. I get it. You know what I mean? But if you are coming to me for advice, I will tell you what I would do in that situation. You get what I'm trying to say? Especially if I got the girl on the hook. I'll tell you exactly what I'll do in that situation, especially if I got the girl on the hook. So I just really wanted to break that down to you guys. For all you guys that are not in CLG, jump in soon. I believe I have the dates picked out for the live event. You know what I mean? Make sure you stay tuned to all of my videos for the live event, because it's going to be coming out quick, because I'm going to be doing a big special if you get your tickets before November 15th. So I'm going to be doing a big special. So pay attention to the channel, lock into the channel. If you're a non-CLG member, it will cost more. But if you are a CLG member, it will cost less. You get what I'm trying to say? So make sure you jump into CLG right now, because it's going to take you probably like 7 to 8 days before you get access to the discount anyways. You know what I mean? So you got to give yourself an 8-day grace period if you want the absolutely cheapest tickets to fly down to the South Beach area and then do it in person, so that you can get all your kinks fixed in Miami area, and then you can go back to your hometown and then become a superstar. So we're going to do a really, really, really affordable live event. I'm working on that as we speak. So stay tuned to the channel to get the dates. Obviously, the CLG members are going to know beforehand and all of this stuff like that. They're going to know first, but make sure you get the dates. Make sure you get your tickets early. In the CLG community, I teach you how to get cheap hotels, cheap flights, all that stuff like that, or as cheap as you possibly can get them. I tell you the dates. And then, yeah, man, we'll go from there. But if you ain't in CLG, jump in. Link is in the comments. Link is in the description. It's everywhere. 7-day free trial. All of my work is in there. Everything is in there. Everything that you need to become elite is inside of there. No excuses. So jump in. Really, really, really soak up that game and become elite sooner rather than later. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.